Hey, it's Sandy. Welcome back to Cute Polish. Today, Julie will be testing out the AZURE Dip Powder Nail Starter Kit, which is currently the top dip powder kit on Amazon. We'll have a link for you guys to this dip powder kit in the description box below. If you aren't familiar with dip powder nails, essentially they're easy to apply at home, however, there are a lot of steps. But it's worth it because the manicure ends up lasting for weeks until you're ready to remove them. Also, dip powder is super strong, so you can even add fake tips to your nails, and the dip powder will keep them on.
Hey, it's Julie. Now let's jump right on into the video. So when you get your AZURE dip powder set, this is what it's going to look like. It comes in a pretty large box, and now we're going to take out the contents and see what's inside. So of course you get your little paper products like the instructions and the store you get it from on Amazon. And the instructions on this are very thorough, and I like that they have pictures for each step. You get 2 nail files. One is pretty coarse for buffing down layers of the dip powder and the other is smooth. And you get a cuticle oil, a wooden cuticle stick, a brush to clean off the excess powder, which I really like. You get 1 clear base dip powder in 3 colors, as well as the 5-step liquids. So as you can see, you really get everything you need for a complete dip manicure. Okay, so the first step in the instructions is to apply step 1, which is bond, and this is pretty much a dehydrator. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just remove all of the seals from the powder while that's drying on my nails. And I really like that all of these did come with a protective seal so that I know that they haven't been used. Next, I'll be applying the step 2 liquid, which is a base, to my nails. Because in the past this has dried really fast for me, I did this 1 nail at a time. So I applied it and then I dipped it into the clear base powder. So normally in the past when I have done this, the base liquid dries super duper fast, which is why I do it so quick, but this base actually has a little bit of a drying time. So I noticed that it took maybe 30 seconds to fully dry, so I would wait a little bit and then dip it into the powder. So I would apply it, maybe wait 15 seconds, and then dip it in. Otherwise, I noticed that when I would dust off the powder, which I also suggest waiting a little bit before you dust off the excess with the brush, I would actually dent the dip powder, which I've never had happen before, but I kind of like that the base does take a little bit longer to dry than other dip powder kits I've tried. I also noticed that the base powder applied very evenly and it stuck to all the parts of the base liquid that I applied. So I'm getting a little bit behind, but next I applied the base liquid again, and then I dipped it into the color powder. So first I'm doing the pink, and I did that on my index and pinky nail, and next I'm going to dip it into the purple powder. And make sure, as the instructions say, if you get any of that base liquid on your skin, to remove it before dipping into the powder. And the instructions also say to dip your finger into the dip powder at a 45-degree angle and then pull it out. I like to tap off the excess powder, again wait 30 seconds, and then dust off the excess that's on the skin and the nail with the brush. So the pink powder and the purple powder looked to be almost opaque after the first coat, but with the glitter, I could tell that it was like definitely going to be a full coverage glitter. And unfortunately, as you can see here, this is where I noticed that I had to wait for the powder to dry a little before dusting away the excess, because as you can see, it picked up some of the liquid and the powder and it got stuck to the brush, and I never was able to fully remove it. The instructions say to go back in with 1 more coat, repeating those steps, so that is what I did. After I applied 2 coats of the dip powder, I gave it a thorough dusting, and then I applied the activator liquid. The instructions say to let this dry for 2 minutes, and then you can move on to filing. So next I used the coarse grit file that came in the kit to file down the bulk of the powder, and then I switched over to the softer grit one to just smooth out the surface. As you can see here, as I was filing, a little bit of the powder chipped up. I'm not sure if this is because I applied the base liquid unevenly and it picked up sparsely in that area, but that did happen on the pink colored nail. I also found it very odd that the instructions didn't say to dip your nails back into the clear base powder after you applied the color coats. I looked everywhere on the instructions and it definitely did not say to do that. In the past, that's what I have done to seal in the color so that when I'm filing it, I don't accidentally file the color powder. And then once I was happy with the filing and everything was smoothed down, the instructions say to apply 1 layer of the top coat, allow 2 minutes to dry, and then apply a second layer of the top coat. For me, every time I've used dip powder kits, the top coat isn't really like a top coat. It smells like nail glue and it does dry with a sheen, but it's not like a glossy top coat. So I'm never fully satisfied with the shine of the top coats for these kits, but this one was pretty nice. If I would apply like a gel top coat over top, I think it would look extra shiny and really pretty. So overall, I think this kit is great for beginners and you really do get everything you need for a complete dip manicure. If you'd like to watch more helpful Cute Polish videos, you can click on these boxes here and make sure to click on the circle to subscribe to Cute Polish for a new video every week. If you'd like to check out my personal nail channel, you can click on the circle here. Thanks for stopping by and we'll see you next time!